Angie Barnett, President and CEO, BBB Greater Maryland. The career path for getting to Better Business Bureau, and I don't think anybody ever has one straight direction, and if they do, bless their hearts that they can make that happen. So I feel mine was a very curvy path to get to where I am. I began in social work. That was my degree, my master's degree. I found that I was more of an enabler as opposed to empowering family and children, and needed to really get into the executive leadership position, and that's where I excelled. So I worked in nonprofits for children and family services for many, many years throughout my careers. And one of the things that I found I could do is I could beg for money, I could write grants, I knew how to run a business on a shoestring budget, retain staff in very challenging, difficult situations. So I took those skill sets and joined Leadership Maryland, a wonderful opportunity to see all of Maryland. In the course of that year-long program, became acquainted with a dear friend, Kathy Snyder. Kathy was the CEO, now retired from the Maryland Chamber of Commerce. We're having dinner and she said, "Come join me at the Maryland Chamber." So I took the skill set I had in the nonprofit world, and that also, and to do any of these jobs, you have to have some strength in relationship building. You have to have strength in relating to people, building those relationships for the purpose of creating wins. So I took those skill sets, started to work at the Maryland Chamber, a wonderful experience, being exposed to a business association, being exposed to a statewide business association, and I found myself very enamored with the small business community. The state chamber has both a mixture of the small and the large, and Kathy is so gifted, at the time in her position, she was so beautifully gifted in working with corporations, and I really became fascinated with how in the world a small business owner survives in today's world and what they have to overcome, their challenges. So through the course of the Maryland Chamber, I had the opportunity to apply for this job, and it sort of took some of the very fundamentals of social work, and that is, holding hands together, doing the right thing, looking before you cross the road, all those basic skills of just good human relationships between friends, co-workers, families. It took that opportunity and to work for a values-based, mission-based organization that is really of the same principle, and that is you do the right thing for the right reason. You have good business. You do the right thing for the right reason. You have good families, you have strong communities, but to be able to live out that principle through the Better Business Bureau work, pretty remarkable. Better Business Bureau, the first BBB that was founded was actually in the state of Minnesota 105 years ago, BBB Greater Maryland. We are about to celebrate our 100th anniversary in 2017. So exciting for us. The history, how did BBB evolve, really is the basic foundation of truth in advertising. Think about it, a century ago, there were businesses, people promoting all kinds of things and using deceptive advertising practices. For example, they would not disclose that elixir might cause harm as opposed to heal the things they were advertising. They would build upon, and actually it was a courtroom battle between Pepsi-Cola and Coca-Cola. They realized that they needed to focus on truth in advertising. So vigilance committees were formed across the country. In Baltimore, there was an advertising vigilance committee that was formed. They evolved into the Better Business Bureau. So they incorporated, again, 100 years ago. But the foundation is that business should pay heed to truth in advertising. You need to believe in what they tell you, and when they fail to do so, one of the things you see happen is our government, our tendency is to swing over to regulations. So when you break rules, and it can be in advertising, the government will put on heavier regulations. So a second founding principle of BBB, truth in advertising, and believing in self-regulation. that if we all do the right thing for the right reasons, we don't need government interference. The reason we care about that, it makes business ownership, entrepreneurship complex. It makes it, you have to wade through a lot of red tape, and those costs are actually passed on to the consumer or the customer eventually, and it makes it very, very hard for any business, large or small. So the two principles that we see ourselves founded upon is truth in advertising and the promotion of self-regulation.